Hey fam, if you guys are just joining the live, it's a little late right now. I do understand that, but uh, I just kind of wanted to do this live. Just I'm gonna wait a little bit more to see how many people I get in before I just start talking. I know a lot of people are gonna end up seeing this video later, but I kind of wanted to do some dialogues. I just wanted to make this live, before I I went to bed. Like I said on my channel, I want to start growing a lot right now, and so I want to do a lot more commentary on stuff like this, and keep people posted on what's going on. I know a lot of people really don't watch the news, and a lot of people who do watch the news, they really don't know a lot about what really goes on. I have a master's in criminal justice and political science, so I wouldn't say I know everything, but I have a good idea as to what goes on in politics. I really don't like to talk politics with a lot of friends and so forth, but I definitely like sharing my opinion. Sometimes I might be wrong, and it's okay if you're wrong. Just like an election. The election just passed. Kamala Harris, she came out. She came out hard. She kind of went, I felt like she kind of went a little hard on Donald Trump. It gave me, when she came out on Donald Trump, she gave me the same vibes that she came out with, towards Joe Biden. And then next thing a few months later, she was all chummy with Joe Biden to the point where he made her his vice president. So for somebody like that who to come out really hard on you and then she ends up being your vice president, she can't be a good person. That still shows you who someone is. You know what I mean? If you see someone, if someone shows you who they are one day, take it for face value. That's who they are. And no matter how much they tell you that they change, then they don't change. People never really change. Yes, people try to change, but to be honest with you, people never really change. I've been in many relationships, and a lot of people can relate to me, where you give somebody a chance and they say they're going to change, but at the same time, after a few period of time, when they're sick and tired of being this fake version of who they want, who they think you want them to be, then they revert right back to their old selves. And so a lot of people don't change. So I didn't trust Kamala Harris. Now this video came out quite a few while ago, so it is not something new. And one of the main reasons, I mean, I voted for Trump the last time he won. I voted for him the last 4 years ago. And because after I voted for Barack Obama, and then I went through 8 years of Barack Obama, and I said, you know what, this guy's no good. You know what I mean? I just felt like, he didn't really do. I'm a black person, yes, and I don't want to bring race into it, but at times, sometimes you have to talk about race. I felt like when I voted for Barack Obama, things were going to change for the African American community, as did many black folks who voted for him. I also wanted to see, someone of color take the mantle for a while and see what they would have done. And to be honest with you guys, I was very disappointed. I remember during the Barack Obama reign of power, I remember when the whole riots was going on. Not necessarily riots. When the whole thing with George Floyd was going on, I remember on the news that man never came on the news one time and denounced anything. Now, to be honest with you guys, I'm not. I don't. I'm not saying anything bad about George Floyd, but I'm a type of guy. I've been in law enforcement for a while. You should follow the rule. I watched a George Floyd video, and to be honest with you, when somebody tell you to chill out or get out of the car, or they give you certain directives and you don't follow them, then the next thing you're trained to do is you have to get physical. It's just what it is. This is the world we live in. Not everybody's gonna be George Floyd, where whatever happened to him. Some people are very violent, and it's just what it is. I was a sergeant in a correctional facility for some time, so I know firsthand what people are capable of. You see people every day, okay? And I'm telling you, these people are violent. They'll show you one side of their face, but when they get ready to get down, it's a totally different thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, I digress a little bit. The point of the video, I just kind of want to do like not a crazy video, but I wanted to definitely play this video for a lot of people who've never seen this video before, and to just show people that, you know, after experience Barack Obama and the foolishness that he brought, and you know, I don't have time to go over that, but a lot of people knew what Barack Obama really represent. You know, he didn't represent much. You know what I mean? And I felt like, you know, his stint in the White House kind of like left a bad taste for a lot of people to put another person of color in the White House. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I knew it was gonna be a landslide. I know it sounds like I'm saying, yeah, I know it, but I didn't. I was very confident President Trump was gonna win. You know, because all the things that he spoke about, that he wanted to do for our country, it's just common sense. You know, like I said in my previous video, when if you guys can remember, when Kamala Harris was running for the presidency after they kicked out, you know, President Joe Biden, you remember, where did she go first? I'll give you guys a second. What talk shows did she go on? What were her talking points? I'm talking about the first few weeks when they said she was, you know, the presidential nominee for the Democrats. Where did she go? Think about this, guys. She went on RuPaul. She went on all these, you know, and listen, again, I have nothing against anybody that's gay. I don't have anything against the transgender community. I don't spread hate. I am for America. I am for righteousness. I'm a Christian. I'm for what's good. I'm for our economy. I'm for our country. I'm for everything that America represents when America is being America. You know what I mean? And I know with every country they have corrupt officials. It's just what it is. It's something that you can't really escape. But when it comes to, you know, our country, and if it's right, I'm all for it. You know, I'm an immigrant myself, but I came through the system. This is the thing. It's okay to be an immigrant, but you have to come through the system the correct way. The first act of being an immigrant, if you're going to cross the border, that's the first thing you do is break the rule. Think about that. You are crossing illegally. How are you going to say you're going to follow the law if you're breaking the law to begin with? If that's the first thing you're going to do, you know what I mean? When I left high school in Jamaica, I came here on a track scholarship. You know what I mean? I ran track in Jamaica. I was very good at it. I ran professionally for a little while, and then I came here to the United States. I studied. I applied for my citizenship, did what I have to do, pay for all the necessary form. And if anybody who knows what citizenship is, you know those forms are expensive. You can literally pay $900 for one page, just to fill out one page. And I went through all that. You know, I got my citizenship. You know, I worked many jobs. I've spent years and years and years and years paying taxes, didn't get anything back. Under Barack Obama for his 8 years, I couldn't really afford insurance because it was too expensive for me and my wife at that time. And I remember when I chose not to get insurance, I remember, if you guys can remember back in the days, you couldn't get your taxes back. Because if you and your spouse and whoever else in your household didn't get insurance, whether you couldn't afford it or you just didn't want it, remember what he did? He took it out of your taxes. I remember he took $600 per household. So for years, I didn't get any tax return back, which I felt like, don't force me to get insurance. If I can't afford it or I don't want it, you can't force it on me. Now, if health care is universal, then that's another thing. Then we get it. You know what I mean? But if I can't get it, don't force me to give back my tax money. A lot of people, I remember a lot of those years, I was looking forward, you know, to my tax return, to use it to do this or do that, or, you know, pay down on something or buy a new TV, or a lot of people were looking forward to it. And then this whole Obamacare, guys, don't even tell me nothing about Obamacare, because we all know Obamacare is trash. You know what I mean? So again, I don't think President Obama left anything, left any real legacy. You get me? But anyways, I don't want to keep digressing. The video is about, you know, President Trump plan to dismantle the Deep South. We're going to play each point and we're going to talk about it a little bit. And then, guys, if you guys want to comment in the comments, man, and just, you know, speak your mind, we're here for open dialogue. You know, what I like about President Trump, he's not on, his videos aren't here gloating. He's getting right to the point. you know. And one of the major, and this video just goes to show one of the main reasons why I chose to vote for Donald Trump. And whatever other people want to choose, that why they you know choose to vote for in a particular candidate, it's up to them, you know. And that's why this country's so great. I'm from Jamaica, and in my country, I remember growing up, you can't even vote for who you want to vote, because each person from different parties will send, you know, their thugs to different areas where, you know, people can't vote for those for the opposition. And if you wore a certain color that represented a certain party, you know, people literally get killed. Look in the history of Jamaica. And I'm pretty sure that's how it is in a lot of country. You want to vote, you know, there's some kind of, you know, conflict going on within that, you know, either democracy or dictatorship or whatever the case might be. So I'm glad that I live here in the United States, where we can all vote. And at the end of it all, you know, there's no lives lost. There's nothing crazy happen. We can just accept it. Let that man come in, do the things that he says he's going to do, and then just watch and see. And I honestly, within my heart, and, you know, with all the conviction of God, really believe that this man really means well for our country. And to be honest with you, I never got that impression that Kamala Harris, you know, really cares about this country. I think she's an opportunist, and someone like that, especially after I saw, you know, how she campaigned against Joe Biden when she was running for president. She wasn't popular, and as soon as he called her on his ticket to be his vice president, or she turned into chameleon, and then all of a sudden Joe Biden, like a person like that, you can't be my friend. Once you show me your true colors, yes, I will talk to you, but I'm keeping you at arm's length all the time. You are never going to be in my circle of trust. You know, and the way how she comes out and she fooled the American people and telling us that this, you know, Joe Biden was, you know, he was great. That she lied to the American people. And I'm not saying politicians don't lie. You know what I mean? But don't come out every day with this cackling grin and talk about, oh, this man is great and he's a great leader and every day he teaches or something. That's not true. You know, if you know anything about politics, you know that Joe Biden is not really the smartest guy in the room. You know what I mean? He really isn't. If you follow politics, a lot of people don't look at him like someone of knowledge. A lot of people think, you know, his ideas aren't that great. So, you know, when Barack Obama chose this guy, I remember thinking, why would you choose this guy? Just like how now, you know, Kamala Harris, when she chose her running mate or potential running, you know, presidential running mate, she chose, you know, the guy she chose. And I'm like, why would you choose that guy? If I'm a presidential candidate, right, and I'm going to choose somebody to run as my as somebody to run alongside me, listen, man, you better have all your ducks in a row. You know, when I look into your state, when I see, you know, what's going on in your schools, when I see what's going on with your borders, when I see what's going on with, you know, your infrastructure, when I see what's going on, you know, with how you treat, you know, religion and churches and all the things that really matter to people, like, it has to be tip top. I can't bring you in my crew if what you represent is not good and righteous. Then you can't be a part of my campaign. And so when she chose, you know, Tim Walz or whatever the hell his name is, I was like, how the hell you chose this guy? Like, why would you think that choosing this guy was going to help your campaign? Why did you think that, you know, choosing Barack Obama, you know, to come and speak to, you know, African Americans when he's been out of the scene for so long, isolating himself in Martha's Vineyard, living the rich life, you know, the wealthy life? You know what I mean? How do you think this guy was going to help your campaign? How did you think Meg Thee Stallion and all these celebrities or nobodies that nobody listened to was going to come in and help your campaign? How is Eminem going to come in and convince me, you know, that I should vote for you? Eminem, show me what Eminem has done in Detroit. I want somebody to show me the impact that Eminem, outside of rap music, and I don't even get why people say this guy's the greatest rapper of all time. How? Notorious Big died when he was 20 years old, and that man has hits for days. Name me one song that you can go to the club and bump to that Eminem has made. None. So this guy can't tell me anything. Go to Detroit. Find me a school. Eminem has been making money off black people for years. He's been making money off white people for years. Go back to Chicago or Detroit or wherever the hell he's from and find me a school that Eminem built to give back to his community. I'm not talking about buying cars for his friends or his loved ones or his immediate family and being rich. You've made so much money from rap music. You are so wealthy. Show me what Eminem has done in his state for me to say, okay, I'm going to listen to Eminem. Show me what Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion is going to do that has done for her own community that I can say I'm going to listen to one of these people to make my vote. How are these people coming on stage going to help your campaign? It can't help your campaign. Meg Thee Stallion, all she's known for is not even that great of a music. She's just known for twerking. That is her thing. She got mad popular during COVID when Tory Lanez was doing his live stream, and she came on it and she was twerking up a storm. It was popular then, and then her music took off. Besides that, she has nothing to teach me about anything that I care about. My border, Christianity, the nuclear family, what's right. You can't tell me anything. What can Cardi B teach me that I'm going to say I'm going to listen to Cardi B? This is the same girl who's pregnant and then she's having sex with other men while she's pregnant. Now, you can do whatever you want, but don't tell the world. We don't want to hear all your nastiness. That's why we're conservatives. You keep that to yourself. That is for your household. Think about it. You're going to have kids that will see this later. You already have 2 kids with this gentleman. Why are you putting this man's business out there? What kind of person are you to be? Why would I follow you? Why would I follow anyone like that who's not ethical? You know what I mean? Who's one of the high point of her career is to say, I used to drug men, you know what I mean? And take their money when I was a stripper. How are you going to come and tell me anything? Why would I listen to Robert De Niro or Whoopi Goldberg or any of those people on The View that's been rich for so long? When was the last time you think Whoopi Goldberg goes to Walmart? You think Whoopi Goldberg goes to Publix or whatever supermarket is in whatever state they live in? You think that they, like me and you, when I go to the supermarket, I have to pick up something 3 or 4 times to decide if I want to buy it or not? Because I gotta say to myself, yo, if I buy this organic thing, am I gonna have enough money to buy the meat or to buy eggs? You think Whoopi Goldberg has had that problem since she did The Color Purple? Really? Tell me if you think Whoopi Goldberg has ever had any issues that she can relate to us. I have a car that I'm still paying off. I'm going to grad school now, and I'm gonna have to pay that off later. You get what I'm saying? I have loans that I'm still paying off. You think Whoopi Goldberg has loans to pay off? They probably pay her $200,000 an episode for that stupid show. I can't wait for Elon Musk to buy it and fire all of them so they can stop pressing all that rhetoric. You know what I mean? And so, when I went to vote for Trump, these are the things that I voted for. And I remember they gave Kamala so many opportunities to tell us what she was about. Listen, you're a politician. You've been lying for years. How difficult it is to come to the American people and say, you know what? Let me lie to them. Even if I don't believe my own lie and they might not believe me, let me lie to them. But she couldn't even lie properly. You know what I mean? What are you going to do for the American people? You don't take any responsibility for the border. Oh, well. And then when she did go to the border, the one time she went there, she made that visit. I know a lot of people never watched that full video. She was only there for about 10, 15 minutes. That goes to show you how disingenuous somebody can be. Because if the border is the one responsibility I'm given, and I do a terrible job of it, how can I take on more responsibility and be good at it? These are some of the points I'm making why they lost the election. And I don't understand how people who work in her administration give her these kind of advice. How are you educated and you're part of the government where you're saying, you know what? This is what I think you should focus on. I think you should focus on, abortion, women's rights. Women's rights is only 12% of the vote of whatever vote they can get. It's not that big of an issue. Now, I'm not saying that, women's right is not important. Of course it is. Now, if someone gets raped If somebody, whatever the case, if an extreme condition like that, and a woman has to get an abortion, by all means. But you can't just be like, yo, I want to drop this baby. I want to drop this baby at this time of the time. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? There has to be things put in law, and that's what differentiates us from animals, and that makes us human. You can't just do whatever you want. It is what every society, there are rules and laws put into state that's been voted on, that's been discussed, and then when it comes down to it, then decision has to be made. You know what I mean? So that the whole abortion rights and women rights, it was such a small thing. And she campaigned on it. She campaigned on the whole woke movement. She campaigned on being LGBTQ or whole joy movement. Nobody wants to hear anything about any joy right now. We want to hear, what are you going to do about the economy? How are you going to put more money in my pocket? How are you going to help me save money when I go to the grocery stores? The things that really affect Americans. I'm talking about the everyday things. And a lot of people don't understand a lot of proposals she made. You know, she wants the corporate tax. How are you going to impose a corporate tax on a lot of businesses? How? Why would you import a corporate tax on businesses? If you put a huge corporate tax on businesses and they apply and they employ tens of thousands of people, where do you think they're going to get that money back from? It's going to be back from the small, from the little people. They're gonna fire people to recoup that money back because they have their shareholders. They're not just going to spend that money, pay that taxes and then not recoup it back. It's a business when you think about it. So they're going to fire people. You know what I mean? They're going to lay offs. They're going to take away bonus. It's going to affect the everyday guy. So this corporate tax she's talking about, she want to impose, she knows nothing of what she speak of. You know what I mean? Then she's talking about taxing future gains. How does that make sense? These are the points she come up with. How are you going to tax future gains? You know, so you're telling me that, you know, the fact that when I'm finished with my nursing school and I start making 120,000, I'm not making it yet, but let's tax me like I'm going to make it. That makes no sense. How can you predict what I'm going to make? You know what I mean? Are you going to say my house is going to be worth, you know, right now my house worth about, you know, 550,000. Are you going to say next year it's going to worth 650,000? So that's what you're going to pay taxes on. That makes no sense. That is what taxing future gains mean. And a lot of people, when they hear these points and they hear her talk about Donald Trump 2025 agenda, she knows nothing of what she talked about. And then when she keeps calling the guy a Nazi, at a certain point in time, we don't want to hear that. Yes, he's a Nazi. Yes, he's a carrot. Yes, he's racist. Yes, he's this. Yes, he's that. Okay, now that you said all that, now get to the meat and potato of things. What are you going to do that's different than what he's been doing? Tell us that. That is what we're trying to hear. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, guys, I'm not gonna go any further. This is for a totally different topic, man. But guys, just to stay on this channel, the only admission that I ask you guys, you know, is to hit the like button. And if you want to subscribe and you want to hear more content, more sensible content from me, I'd be happy to do a lot more videos like this. But let's go ahead, guys, and let's hear what former president, the current president, the 47th president, the 45th and 7th president has to say is plan about dismantling the deep state and how it would affect Americans. Let's go.
Until the deep state and reclaim our democracy.
I'm sorry, guys.
Plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively.
Now, when he speaks about rogue bureaucrats, just for a lot of people who don't really understand what that means, again, like I said, I have a master's in criminal justice and history. So eventually I want to get into politics. Now these rogue bureaucrats, you guys know that people like Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden. Joe Biden's been a politician for over 40 years. Nancy Pelosi, the same thing. Now, when you have people that are sitting on a cabinet or in government that long, yes, they have a wealth of knowledge, but at the same time, that same wealth of knowledge does not always translate into something that's good for the country. Now, if they're in the back seat and they're teaching politics to, college students, or you have new politicians coming through and they want to educate them on stuff, then that's an awesome thing. But when it comes to sitting in a term in Congress or in any government for that long, it can't be good, because these people get so involved in so many things that they're not supposed to get involved in. They get bought out so many times. They've been bought out so many times. They themselves don't even know, what they really think. It's like the highest bidder is the one who actually, speaks for them. And not only that, sometimes you need some fresh ideas. As you get older, as with anything, your mom, when you were growing up, she could teach you so many things. But as she gets older and time goes on, there's not really much your parents can teach you anymore, because you've educated yourself. A lot of us past where our parents, stopped their education. My mom never went to college. I was one of the first people in my family, to go to college. So a lot of times I hear my mom speak about stuff and she doesn't really understand. And I love my mom, but sometimes I'm like, Mom, I don't think you understand what that means. And so I would have to explain certain things to her. So it's the same thing with these politicians. Sometimes they're in Congress way too long for it to be beneficial for the country. So, and then they get so corrupted that, they get bought out by every which way. You know what I mean? So that's what he's talking about, dismantling, a lot of these, and these people are called incumbents. These people are always in office. That is like their a whole career. Imagine spending 40 to 50 years in Congress. You don't even give any fresh minds to come in, give new ideas, hear what these people, how they can, progress the nation. It's just the same old people, the same old ideas. Half of them are racist anyways and sexist. Sometimes we need to get them out, get more progressive people with real common sense and a sense of politics, and a good sense of politics to run the country. So that's what he's talking about.
Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them.
And when he's talking about that, obviously, how they weaponize the Department of Justice against him. There's no way. It doesn't matter if it's against Donald Trump, if it's against Nancy Pelosi, or unless they do some really horrible crime. I definitely don't condone weaponizing any kind of Justice Department against anyone. I really hope that President Trump never really goes that route where he's really going after any of these people, because then for me, that wouldn't sit well on my heart. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't want him to do something like that. But at the same time, they did it to him. You know what I mean? And if he's in a position right now to change that, I would definitely want him to do that and root out all those people that are really corrupt, that are bought out by the current president or then president. So a way they will never ever do that to any other presidential candidate, because I just don't think it's right. If you're running an election, let each party run the best election they can and let the best man win. Like it's like you're gonna play a soccer game, but every time you're gonna tie the opponent's goalie's legs up so the other team can win. That makes no sense. Let them play the game, and who win. It's just what it is.
The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled.
Absolutely.
So that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible.
I mean, this is only true. Obviously, how the hell are you going to indict the man 110 times? How are you going to make an assassination attempt on the man while he's running an election? Come on, man. That's common sense. That's dirty. And the problem I had with the Democratic Party was like, they would spew all this hatred rhetoric about Donald Trump and how he was a racist. But again, I spoke in my last live. Show me where he was a racist. Because I promise you, if he was a racist, they would have found that video, they would have found that person, and they would have plastered it all over their campaign, telling you how much he was a racist. He's no racist, man. When Jesse Jackson was running for president, and this, you can fact check me, whoever's watching this. When Jesse Jackson was running for president, who you think bankrolled him? Who you think bankrolled him? So don't let these people tell you about the man is fascist. And that's one of the reasons why she lost the election. She couldn't stop riding on top of this guy. Find your own points, elaborate on them, and show the American people how are you going to make this better for us. Stop bringing up the man's name every chance you get. And that's what she did, and people were waiting for her to change, and she couldn't change. She had no points. All these points that my man is making right now, it was more than enough to use on her campaign. And the people that are around her, they should all be fired or torched. Because if you're letting this lady run a campaign and you can't give her a couple good points to run on, man, you shouldn't have a job in Capitol Hill at all. You should never have, and all those people should be fired and never be hired again, Capitol Hill. Let them go serve fries at McDonald's. Facts.
Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power.
Now, another thing with a lot of these, pharmaceuticals, we all know that a lot of them are paid off. We all know that, they have drugs that don't really help people. And it's about time that we have somebody to step in and say, listen, man, you guys are going to have to do right by the American people. And I'm glad when he said that, made that point.
That have been tearing our country apart. We will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there are plenty of them.
That's obviously true, because we can think about when he ran for president and he won the last time. The biggest thing everybody was talking about was how, Russia. You know what I mean? And they pushed that narrative the whole time. Later on, we found out it was a lie. You know what I mean? So, we have to attack stuff like that.
Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy.
Absolutely.
When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth,
and remember, he said when possible. He didn't just say he's just going to go after people who make fake news. He said when possible, to the point where it's extreme and it can cost people's lives. Because obviously there's been a lot of fake news going on. They've been a lot of news channel, MSNBC. They've been fact checked many times. We saw the debate, and they were fact checked after the debate and see how fake they was. So he's talking facts.
We will make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee, so they do not become the protectors of the deep state.
Now, that is mad important, guys. Inspector Generals, I just don't see how you're Inspector General and you're in the department where you're Inspector General. It's like they have access to you right then and there. You should be away from that department and then go in whenever you surprise them, go in, do your investigations, and then make your decision. So that's a great point.
I will ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people.
Absolutely.
Or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. Eighth, we will continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado, as many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately.
And I see a lot of comments, in the comment section. All I have to say about that is, a lot of negative comments, let the orange man, and that's the point I'm trying to make. That's the rhetoric that got her not elected. Same rhetoric. He's a Nazi, and we're Nazis. All the people that support Trump, we're bigots, and we're sexist, and we're homophobes, and he brainwashed us. How are you brainwashed if you want to see your country succeed? How are you brainwashed if you want to have your border secure? Are you brainwashed if you don't want your child to be told that he's a boy or she's a boy when she's a girl, or she's a girl, or he's I'm sorry, or she's a girl, or he's a girl when he's a boy? How are you brainwashed? That's just common sense. How do you not want the countries that are selling us oil to not be as rich as they are when we have those same resources here and we can be that rich? When we have places up north in the North Pole where we can drill for oil. We have a ton load of natural gas. Don't forget that the dinosaurs used to be on this continent. What do you think crude oil is made from? What do you think it's made from? We are on one of the biggest continents that had the dinosaurs. So I don't understand how people are going to say, we are brainwashed by this man. When the man wants to see the best for the country, how is that being brainwashed? That's called common sense. How do you not support someone who wants to take corruption out of government and put it back in the hands of the people? But you guys have been so brainwashed for so long that this is how you think. When Kamala was running on the whole woke movement and giving rights away to all this foolishness, that's who you should direct that anger to and that negativity. But someone who's trying to make your life better, who's trying to make the economy better, how do you not want China to bring factories here and create jobs instead of having factories in their country, selling their cars here, and then taking the wealth back to China to build their infrastructure and their economy? How is it that it's fair that we foot the bill to have our warships and our military might on the borders of European countries and they don't pay for anything? How is that fair? How should they? My ex-wife was European, and sometimes I would talk to her, and she would always tell me, "Oh, in my country, we used to, the water is better, the food is better. We only work for 3 hours a day, and we this and this, and then yet still, she wanted to come to this country, because they've been saving so much money from not really putting any money." In their own defense, because the United States has been footing that bill for so long. Of course, they can give their citizens a better health care, because we've been spending trillions and trillions a year protecting the rest of the European Union when they sit back and don't pay any money. And this has been going on for a millennia now. How is it wrong when he's saying, you know what? We're using our military might. You need to pay us for it. There's nothing wrong. Would you provide security for your neighbor and make his house secure, and also provide security for yourself, and he doesn't do anything? He doesn't pay for anything? Would you dip in your pocket and pay for your neighbor's security camera, your neighbors to have a bodyguard? You wouldn't do that. You'd have to let him pay his own share. So that makes no sense. It's common sense. Let them pay for what they're getting. You get what I'm saying? Plain and simple.
Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs.
Let me play that part one more time. Sorry.
Management to Colorado. As many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington.
And this is the thing. A lot of a lot of government agency, they're so rooted in Washington, where they have lobbyists literally living in Washington, lobbying everything for big businesses and their own interests. Sometimes get them out of there. Get them out of there and put them somewhere else so they're not close to all these lobbyists. Because let me tell you something, guys. You can be out here voting your ass off, but if big business have their expensive lawyers and their lobbyists in Congress, in Washington, you're not going to win anything. That's why a lot of things that goes on in your personal state, it seems like, your congressman is not winning, because people with big money and big lawyers, they're lobbying on their own interests, and then you guys are the one losing. So what he's saying is a great point. Get them out of DC, Washington, and put them elsewhere where these lobbies can't really get to them, and lobby them for their own interests.
To places filled with patriots who love America. And
Absolutely.
they really do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these.
Makes sense. You can't regulate a company and get employed by that same company. You can't. It makes no sense. Are you going to regulate the Food and Drug Administration and then they turn around and hire you? So you're for their interests. So they're going to pass everything. All the food that is terrible for our Americans, guess what? They're going to say, okay, you work for us, so what's the deal? You're going to pass it, and then the American people are going to be the ones that are going to lose because they're not doing the proper things, and they're only working for those same companies' interests and not your own. How is that wrong? You can't get a job if you're supposed to be watching someone. That person can't end up hiring you. That makes no sense.
Companies and their regulations could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these companies and they regulate these companies.
Then they get hired by them.
From these companies.
Makes no
Doesn't work
sense.
that way. Such a public display cannot go on, and it's taking place all the time, like with Big Pharma.
Exactly.
Finally, I will push
Especially
a
pharmaceutical
constitutional
company.
amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. This is how I will shatter the deep state and restore government that is controlled by the people and for the people.
Now, when he speaks about super long term limits, that's what I spoke about earlier. You can't be in, if the president can only serve 2 terms, right? A total of 8 years. I was Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden in Congress for 40 years. That makes no sense. Serve your term limit, get out, get a fresh new face, fresh new ideas, and keep it rotating and moving. But when you have one person in Congress for 40 years, that person is bought out and sold and bought out and resold to everybody. His interest is whoever pays him. And this is how, look at people like Nancy Pelosi. She's been in Congress for how long? We all know she's trash. You know what I mean? And I don't like talking evil about anyone. It's not my personality. But at the same time, it's true. These people, Nancy Pelosi has no connection with the American people. Nancy Pelosi hasn't been poor for the past 70 years. How does she know what me and you go through on a daily basis? All she knows is being rich forever. Just like a lot of these celebrities. You can't have somebody running for Congress and then the best thing they can do is not bring out people with knowledge, people who know the stock market, people know about infrastructure, people know about government, to rallies. You're going to bring out twerkers, Eminem, you're going to bring out, Jennifer Lopez. Why would you think Jennifer Lopez would bring any votes? Nobody likes Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez lives in Miami and nobody in Miami likes her. When she was married to Mark Anthony, nobody liked her. You know what I mean? When she played Selena, nobody liked her. When she tried to make it big in Hollywood, nobody liked her. Ben Affleck is one of the nicest guys, and he doesn't even like her. How are we going to like Jennifer Lopez? But it's okay. You know what I mean? All the Diddy lovers, they brought them out because you know they got the tapes on all of them. Cardi B, J Lo, and all of them came out in drone. You know what I mean? And let me not spread any propaganda. Let me not say anything like that. But at the same time, guys, you can't let celebrities who know nothing of being poor or, a lot of these celebrities haven't been poor for a long time. So they don't know what we go through every day. A lot of times, man, I have to choose between one thing or another, before I can budget myself. You know what I mean? I have to choose, am I going to pay this credit card or that credit card? So for me, I want somebody who's going to come in, reduce interest rates, secure my border, make my kids feel safe in school, don't push any woke movement on my family, vet the people that are coming into our country, bring back prayers in school, bring back Christianity to the forefront, promote the nuclear family, show me that you have a family. Show me one time. Think about this, guys. Throughout Kamala's campaign, show me one time where you saw or brought out her daughters or husband and put them at the forefront with her. Donald Trump does that every chance he gets. His sons are there with him. His wife is there with him. His daughter is there with him. His grandkids. That's what I want to see. I don't want to hear you talk about super woke nothing. I don't want to hear about your drinking ingredients. I don't want to hear you tell me about how to make some drink. You know what I mean? That's Kamala Harris. I want you to talk about issues. Already, guys, China's prime minister already saying he wants to speak with Donald Trump and see how they can see eye to eye. He already said it. Fact check me and go look that up. President Putin of Russia, he already made a statement. I'm willing to sit down with Donald Trump and see how we can end this conflict. So when Donald Trump said I would have ended that conflict, he meant it. You can fact check me. Go look it up. Putin's latest speech. He said he wants to speak with Donald Trump and see how we can reasonably end this war. You know what I mean? Because that's respect. You think if Kamala came in, he would have said that? She already couldn't even talk. She couldn't even negotiate when the war was about to start. And then when they fact check her about it, he said on the debate, he said she couldn't even go in and negotiate. Oh, I wasn't a negotiator. I was sent to speak. No, you were only sent to speak with Zelensky. You never sat down with both men and try to ash something out and save lives. The whole thing we're here for, guys, we're here to save lives, make America great, make our citizens wealthier, healthier, stronger, vet people that are coming into our country, stop the cartels from doing all the foolishness that they're doing by, the cartel in China flooding our borders with fentanyl that are taking the lives of fellow Americans. If you're not down for any of that, promoting the nuclear family, a man, a woman, and stop telling kids, that they're not boys when they're boys and that they're not girls when they're girls. That's what I voted for, and I think that's what a lot of Americans voted for. And if you hate me or hate Donald Trump, I really don't care, because the majority of people spoke. He won the Electoral College. He almost won 3/4 of the Electoral College. Number one, he won the popular vote. He won almost I think he won all the swing states. You know what I mean? And he's even converted people that were Democrats, to Republicans. So what people have to say, the little orange man tricked me. No, he didn't. He didn't trick anybody. He spoke about things that people were interested in. And he didn't talk about foolishness. You know what I mean? He spoke about everyday things that people were going through. And all she spoke about was her woke movement or a joy speech. She's on every transgender and transphobic platform talking about stuff American people don't care about. She's chasing off people that are saying, Jesus is Lord. Oh, he's in the wrong, he's in the wrong rally, and then the next week, joy cometh in the morning, and then she's a Christian. The people were seeing through all that fakeness. You know what I mean? We gave her opportunities to speak about things that are important to the American people, and she never did. They even on the 60 Minutes, the guy was giving her opportunities to say, yo, what are you about? She couldn't say it. Everywhere she went, all softball questions, we're waiting for her to come up with something, and she had nothing. Everything she did was revert back to Donald Trump. Then that means you admire him. You talking shit about him, it gets to a point where it's admiration, because you can't keep him out of your mouth. That's how I know she was going to lose. Facts. And she wasn't popular to begin with. And that retarded laugh she had, she needed to get rid of that. She needed to start practicing when not to have that laugh. And I know it sounds a little silly and ridiculous, and hear me out for a second. That laugh, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people are like, yo, I can't put up with this stupid laugh. Even when her jokes weren't even funny. She was made this 42 teeth laugh, which was just like, yo, like not everything you talk about is a smile. Talk about important issues. That's not a joke. That's your campaign. You laughing and cackling and bringing out all these stupid celebrities, Robert De Niro. What does Robert De Niro know about politics? He knows how to be a gangster on TV, and that's about it. You can't tell me nothing, Robert De Niro. I don't listen to Cardi B. I don't listen to Eminem, quote unquote, best rapper alive. The best rapper ever is Biggie Smalls or DMX. DMX had 5 albums, with over 2 million sales each. Eminem, he's got voted by all the white kids by his records. And so his numbers are high. Plain and simple. I'm not racist, but it's true. All the white folks had a white rapper that people admired, so they bought all the stuff. We all know black folks don't buy records. We burn that. So you're not going to get, all that records from like a hip-hop artist, a black hip-hop artist, like Big and those guys back in the day. We were burning all that stuff back then. But all them white kids, they're buying all those CDs. So, of course, his numbers are high. Tell me one hit that Eminem sing that you can go in the club and jump to. I don't listen to Eminem. You know what I mean? I can give you about 8, 9, or 10 jam that DMX make that you can go in the club and be like, yo, that's my jam. Or I can give you 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hits that the Notorious Big made that I can go to a club and be like, yo, that's my song. Eminem he's a good lyricist, but I think Cass is a better lyricist than that. How is he the best rapper alive? What have he done? What has he done? Eminem is like Michael Jordan. He's the greatest, but he hasn't done anything for the people who put him on that pedestal. He's created no schools for the people in the community in Chicago that he made so famous. You know what I mean? What has Michael Jordan does? Then take away the hard-earned money from your kids to buy shoes that are worth maybe $5 a piece. And he really doesn't really give back to the community like that. Anybody who know anything about Michael Jordan, even players say he's a selfish dickhead. And even he admits it himself. What has Eminem done for Detroit? Show me the school Eminem has built with all the money that he's made. Show me how he's helped, the homeless in his own community with all the millions he's been making over the years. How was Cardi B going to teach me anything? How was Billie Eilish, who's anti-Christian, going to come teach me about anything that I want my family to know? Have you listened to her music? It's trash. Why would you put those people on the forefront of your campaign? Those people don't know. They don't have nothing to do with regular Americans. You know what I mean? And guys, I appreciate you guys coming in and listening to this rant. Guys, again, man, if you guys like my content and you guys white, it's when this guy said you crazy as fuck, dude. It's true though. I know I might sound crazy. A lot of things I might say, a lot of people won't say it. Like when I said that, Eminem. People keep saying everybody's afraid to call the white boy. He's not. I know. At one time they told Lil Wayne that Eminem was the best rapper alive, and his initial impression was like, "What, Eminem?" And then when he realized that he was on TV and he knew Eminem sales, he kind of okay. But Eminem, Lil Wayne don't believe that. He don't. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is true. Again, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in with me. I've been here for almost an hour now. I had a lot of fun. Again, guys, if you guys want me to do more content like this, man, go ahead, check out my channel. I normally do a lot of firearms content, but I'm starting to, get my foot wet again into this politics thing, man. I have a master's in criminal justice and political science, and I really like talking politics. I think I'm gonna do a channel where whatever current issues we just talk about it. Have sensical discussion where people can come in the comments, and what even if they disagree with anything that I say, feel free to come in the comments. Let your thoughts be known, and that's what we're here for, guys. Whether you're Democratic or Republican, guys, thank you guys for your participation in this election. I know even though my team won, to be honest with you, not that I didn't care who won, but whoever won, I want the best for this country, period. And I want the best for our people. I want the best for our kids. I want the best for, our pockets. I want the best for our president. I want the name of Jesus Christ back on, on people's lips again, and less of this, woke movement, so, I pray for the president. I hope that he seeks advice from the Heavenly Lord and my Savior Jesus Christ. I hope he does that and keep doing that. And I hope God keeps him and and show him, give him discernment to see the right things to do. I hope people keep him safe. I hope God keeps him safe. And I hope God keeps all of you guys safe, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate the time we spent together, guys. And if you guys definitely want to, check out my channel, feel free to do so. If you guys see me go live again, come in and join it. I might do another video tomorrow. I'm not sure what topic I'm gonna use, but I'm gonna start doing more of these lives, man. So if you guys want to tune in again, feel free. I think I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to work tomorrow, and I gotta do some studying tomorrow. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. One love, and may God bless all of you, man.